recently I've done a couple interviews that I've taken some heat for, and I think it's ridiculous. I've had people, not everybody's going to like every interview that I do, every person that comes into the studio. But the reason for this podcast is I'm genuinely curious, and I want to get to know people. You may not like these people. I've had people contact me and say, well, why are you platforming that person? They're evil. And I think it's really important to hear a different perspective. You might have certain feelings about someone and you gain a very negative perspective over that person, but until you hear them out and hear their story, hear their background, you're never going to change your opinion on that. So I think it's important to be open to that. And I will remain that way, even if people try to, they bash me and try to get me to take certain interviews down. I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to talk to who I want to. And so my guest today is sort of a controversial person. He's kind of hated around San Angelo, and he knows that, especially on social media. And the thing is, I get that. I see what he does on social media, and I am not in support of that, which I clearly tell him during this interview. But I also was able to get a different perspective about this person and to learn where that's coming from, sort of. And I think that is important. So I'm offering you a different perspective. So today, the most hated man in San Angelo. So why are you such an asshole?
Well, I'm not just an asshole. I got arms and legs too.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, I can see that. But so seriously, like what? So, from your online presence, mostly Facebook, I mean, San Angelo is very Facebook driven community, sir. And, people really get upset with you, especially in the jail logs, when you're on there and you no matter who it is, whether they're black, white, Hispanic, female, you always say deported. You want them deported. So explain that a little bit and explain where that's coming from. Is it coming from a place of hate, or are you joking? And why do people get so angry about it, do you think? Okay. Thank you to Maximus Nutrition for sponsoring the show. Maximus has some of the best nutrition and supplementation in the Concho Valley. Take it from me, as a strength coach for over 10 years, I've shopped there and got all my supplements from there. There's two, in fact, that I'd like to personally recommend to you. One is a good protein supplement called UMP Beverly International. It's got one of the highest bioavailability rates, so your body actually absorbs like 90% of the actual protein instead of like 60%. The other thing they carry is methylene blue. It's a really cool supplement. Do some research on that one, but it helps with mitochondrial energy uptake. So it helps you to recover faster, have more energy and focus in the gym. So thanks, guys. Maximus Nutrition. They've got two locations, the one on Sunset and the one on Knickerbocker. I want to thank Winter the Barber, our newest front-end sponsor of the Matt Cutrer Report. Winter the Barber is located at Fresh Cuts, which is in the Sunset Mall right across from Marshall's. Winter does it all. She specializes in men's cuts, beards. She does waxing, the works. You got to go see Winter. She also does the little kids. She's got great rates, also does walk-ins. Winter the Barber, tell her Matt Cutrer sent you. I want to thank the San Angelo Performing Arts Center and my good friend Yuki Kunuyuki for sponsoring the Matt Cutrer Report. SAPAC is really great for San Angelo and the Concho Valley. Guys, the more we get out and watch live performances, whether it's a comedy show or live music or anything they put on over there, it's going to help our community grow with the arts and culture. So thank you, SAPAC, sincerely from the Matt Cutrer Report. We hope to see you at a show.
So this all originally started, wasn't even my ideal to begin with. One of my friends, I'm not going to say his name, he's a nurse for a company here in San Angelo. And he was going on there and just saying deported on everyone's, and then people started calling him racist and started calling him a whole bunch of names. So I was like, I got to do it.
Okay.
And since then, I just, no matter who they are, I'll put deported, and if it's a man, I'll put muchacha. If it's a woman, I'll put muchacho.
Yeah.
And get so many rage baiting people.
Well, that's kind of the thing that if you're kind of paying attention, you realize that you don't discriminate. So that's what made me realize you're just joking around. And I don't know how you really feel about those issues, but people, they see it and they are so triggered by that. And obviously I think that's a sign of the times and what's going on with immigration and all that. But if you look and see, it's just goofing around because it's everybody.
Yes,
if
sir.
it weren't everybody, I would say, okay, this guy's hateful, you know? And do you think you're a hateful person?
Maybe a little bit, but in general, no.
Yeah. In general, no?
No.
Okay. Well, seriously though, just to clear the air, if you don't mind, how do you feel about the immigration issue?
Honestly, well, no, yeah, we're fine. The immigration issue, I'm on the fence about it. I see both sides.
Yeah.
I see the, crazy rednecks and their point of view, and then I see the liberals and their, everyone's human. We should have open borders.
Yeah.
That being said, I myself am a little bit of a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, same here.
I've kind of bought into the fact that I bet a lot of people have snuck in across the border. And with all the, Iran and all these events that are going on, I am genuinely surprised that we haven't had another, 9/11 style attack.
Like a false flag attack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
I mean, if you're listening to kind of what's going on right now, there are a lot of people who think that's coming, that we're going to have a false flag, kind of a fake psyop attack to rally the American people. And I mean, it's just to talk about that a little bit, the geopolitical kind of current events, it's really reminiscent to me of Iraq.
Yes.
It really is. They've got WMDs, and we were pushed to believe that was the narrative, and cramming it down people's throats, and then the attack happens, which who knows I personally have a lot of conspiratorial thoughts about that, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And so that rallied, I've never seen the country more united. I mean, we're close to the same age, right? Was that not incredible?
Yeah.
I've never seen the country like that.
Nope.
I mean, it's the opposite of that now.
It really is.
Yeah, and so I mean, it's just like that. They're capable of making nukes. They're going to make nukes, and then they moved the line back, as I think Tucker Carlson said recently too. They're enriching uranium. We've got to attack them, And
They've got long-range missiles.
Exactly, and it's like, man, this looks so familiar, And so, man, I'm scared about that, dude. I don't want more Americans to die like that.
No.
Yeah.
No reason to.
Yeah. So, you're from San Angelo, right?
Yes, sir. Born and raised.
You are? Me too, dude. So, where'd you go to school? Tell us about elementary and junior high and all that.
Well, heck, I've been to Goliad Elementary, Fannin.
Fannon's awesome.
Went to Lincoln Middle School. Okay. I graduated in Central in 2010.
Okay. Yeah.
Bunch of, crazy crackhead kids at that point.
Yeah. What was high school like for you? What kind of kid were you in high school?
Oh, okay. So, how there's kids that have a lot of friends and everybody loves them.
Yeah.
And then you have kids that have, a few friends and some people like them. And then you have the kids that nobody likes for no reason. Yeah, it was that lighter one.
The nobody likes?
No, yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So you were like that in high school?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because I got a little bit of autism.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
So you're on the spectrum.
I am officially diagnosed with high functioning autism.
Really? Mm-hmm. Well, see, that's good to know. Okay. Interesting.
So if that puts a little bit into perspective.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
So I figured, everybody hates me for no reason. I might as well just give them a reason to.
Oh, so you leaned into it.
I did. If I'm going to get paid for it, I might as well.
Yeah, okay. What do you mean you get paid for it?
Well, my Facebook is monetized.
That's right.
I have a partnership YouTube channel, and I have a TikTok, but it's pennies.
Okay.
So
yeah, your YouTube channel. I didn't know you had a YouTube. I'll have to check it out. But what kind of stuff do you do on there? What kind of content do you do?
My YouTube channel is my good side. It's my fish and my whole building that whole operation and everything.
Nice. So talk about your fish a little bit. So you're mostly a freshwater guy, right?
Freshwater.
How'd you get into that?
The tism.
Okay, yeah.
No, that some people like elephants, some people like cars. I like fish.
Right, yeah.
Growing up, my stepdad was an outdoorsman, always taking us camping, hunting, and stuff. And it got to the point to where he was always having to go out and buy bait and stuff. So I started catching perch.
Okay, yeah.
And started breeding perch. And then got a beta, got a goldfish, and it kind of grew from there. I'm a master fish breeder and a grandmaster aquatic horticulturist.
Really?
That's a mouthful. Horticulturist.
Wow. How do you become a horticulturist like that?
It's pretty time consuming because to get into aquatic horticultural, you have to have fish tanks or some kind of pond, some massive body of water where you can grow plants.
Yeah.
So I've grown everything from veggies, like all the house plants, most of the aquatic plants, hornwort, anubias, all that stuff. I mean, my tanks are just full of it.
Wow. What about, have you ever grown weed? Or mushrooms?
I sure have not.
But you could probably do that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. So you said you had 22 fish tanks before we started airing.
Yes, sir.
Why so many fish tanks? You don't how come you don't just have like one big one or something? But I know you said you're building a pond, but why so many?
Well, I do have a big fish tank. I have a 100-gallon all the way down to, I think my smallest is 20. But they're all filled with different fish. Just extra space, really.
Okay, yeah. Is that hard to maintain? It sounds like it would be.
It's a little bit of work. It really is.
Do you have a routine like where you do you feed them every day, or are they on a schedule like different days?
Every day I'll feed all the tanks, and Mondays and Fridays are my water change days.
Yeah.
So
Dang,
they
dude.
kind of, I've gotten to the point now where they kind of just run themselves.
Oh, do they? Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
It's taken a bit.
Yeah, so what's kind of the most exotic freshwater fish you have?
Currently, I have 3 axolotls.
What are they?
Axolotls.
What's that?
Yeah, gilled salamanders.
Oh, cool. Okay.
They look like salamanders, and they have the real fluffy gills.
Okay. Nice, dude. And you said you might get some guppies, right?
Oh no, I have a lot of guppies.
Oh, you
already.
have guppies. Yeah. What about what are the other ones called? Mud
skippers.
Mud skippers. Are you gonna get some of those?
I've been thinking about that. Yeah.
Can you can like domesticate or like have those captive or?
Well, yeah, not domesticate so much, but you can keep them in a 40-gallon breeder.
So with the fish like that, do they flop out of the tank every once in a while? How do they?
There's a good chance.
Really?
Yes. Anything with the mouth can bite you. Anything with legs can jump.
Yeah.
So
can those survive on land?
The mud skippers, kind of for
They're
short.
like an amphibian, sort of.
Yeah, short amounts of time they
Yeah.
can do a little bit of dry, but for the most part, they prefer to be in and out of the water.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. So would you have to set up the tank differently for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of filling it full of water, I would put like that much water in it.
Oh, that makes sense. And there's rocks and different things they can flop on. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, dude. You got to send me a picture of that if you get some of those. Or a video. Yeah, that'd be cool. So just kind of back to the social media stuff for a minute.
Yes, sir.
So also another thing I've noticed, like I've seen you on Facebook and some of your interactions and stuff. And there are some people you've gotten into some heated debates and like even fights with, And so where does that come from? One of the guys, I don't remember his name, and I don't want to necessarily call him out, but some Java dude or something. I don't know who that is, but I just remember a situation where y'all were going back and forth to the point where you were even like making posts directed toward each other. Like it was just crazy, dude. So what happens there?
It started off kind of all fun and games, and then he started getting a little butthurt. So, I was like, well, let's make it worse.
What? But y'all were friends, right? At one point.
Yeah, I would say we were.
What soured the relationship, would you say? Like, were you messing with him too much? Is he pushing him too much or what?
Pretty much. Yeah, okay. He always in women's inboxes begging for money and other things.
Yeah, so did y'all fight?
No,
Or no? Oh, okay.
I wanted to. He never showed
did?
up.
See, I've seen you actually give out your address. Like, do people ever show up when you do that?
Not a single time.
Seriously?
Not a single time.
So people will threaten you, but they don't show up?
Not
Really? I would figure there'd be somebody out there that would.
I was hoping.
That's
But
crazy.
not a single person has shown up.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, yeah, man, you piss some people off on there. They get upset, dude. There's like a running thing where like people are like, oh, I hate this guy. He's such an asshole. But so talk a little bit, because this is something I feel like people can really benefit from. And it's the fact that you've been diagnosed with Crohn's disease, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And so when were you diagnosed with that?
I was 26, 27,
Okay, so
and
you're
I'm
20.
about to be 35, so almost a decade ago.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, my cousin has it, and I know that can be a really debilitating thing. So what is Crohn's disease, and then talk a little bit about how it affects you.
Realistically, Crohn's disease is the doctor saying there's something wrong with you. We don't quite know what it is.
Really?
It's not ulcerative colitis. It's not
Wow.
IBS. We can give you some hardcore steroids and antibiotics, and it might help you, but it might not. Which
didn't
I
realize
tried
that.
those, and when I was on the antibiotics and steroid combination, I was not a nice person
Really?
at all. Yeah. And so I was like, I can't do that. And then they wanted to give me the injections, but those cost like $2,600 each with insurance.
What
And
kind
I
of
was like,
injection is it? Like a steroid injection?
Yeah.
Okay. And how does that help, supposedly?
It's supposed to help rebuild the lining of your intestines, which I have about 3 feet of functionally dead intestine.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Can they cut that out?
They
or
can.
something? Yeah.
But then I'll get a colostomy bag, and I'm not ready for that yet.
Dude. So that's a real thing that could have potentiality, right?
Yeah.
Really? So people who have Crohn's disease, is that pretty common, or can they live their full life without that happening?
You got about like a 50-50 chance, realistically.
Really? Dude, yeah. So what's interesting about that, like, before I even talked to you and really started talking about Crohn's diseases, there's a couple of females that I follow who have ostomy bags, and one of them has a catheter and an ostomy bag, and she, talks about how it's affected her, like her social life, her her confidence, everything. And
Everything.
she's to the point where she kind of owns it now, and it's something that's just a part of her life, and she shows like her whole life, like being out somewhere and having to change her bag and the different bags she has, and it's just part of who she is now. And it's funny because, the pain and the struggles she was dealing with before she got the bag were way worse compared to the maintenance of the bag, which is interesting. Is that something you've thought about? Like maybe it would improve my life if I did that in a way?
I've seriously considered it. I'm not quite ready to walk around with a bag of poo on me.
I know.
So,
dude, I know. You would think there'd be a better way, but
nope.
there's not, man. It's like literally you no longer use your anus.
No.
Literally, right.
Right.
Dude, that's crazy. Do they sew it? I mean, I'm not trying to be. Do they, or does it stay as it is?
I don't know.
But yeah, so I know that they, you have the hole there, and the soma kind of sticks out, right? Yeah, and then the bag, there's like a seal and everything, and you got to keep it real clean because it could get infected, and it's a big thing, dude. And
Yeah.
so, what are the main symptoms that you have from Crohn's?
Well, I mean, my more fun symptoms, it's hit or miss. I'll either wake up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, running to the bathroom, trying not to poop and puke everywhere.
Dang.
Or out of nowhere, I just have to run to the bathroom because it's like that instant.
Oh, I see.
I get no choice in the matter. It's go now or you're pooping yourself.
Wow.
My immune system is compromised. I mean, I'm a little. I struggle to stay hydrated because my intestines don't absorb the water. I have the more severe symptoms where it's every day I'm running to the bathroom 10 plus times a day.
Yeah.
My teeth are dyed yellow because I puked so much.
Really? So it's not just diarrhea. It's diarrhea, first of all, but you're also vomiting. Yep. I didn't know that.
Thing happened the other day as I started puking blood. I was like, what the heck?
Dude, what?
Yeah. that was the first time that had happened, and I was like, ooh, that's weird.
Is that a real concern? Like, have you talked to the doctor about that or anything?
No, I don't have insurance.
Dude. Oh, man, neither do I. Dang, dude. That's horrible.
Most people are like, I would have already went to the hospital.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they labeled me as a, what is the word? A drug seeker. Even
Really?
though I went in every single time and I was like, I don't want opiates, I don't want painkillers, I just want a GI cocktail, which is lidocaine and milk of magnesia. It's like no
Why would they
narcotics.
not? I don't understand that.
I've went like 230 times in a single year.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Man.
So at one point in time, I was going to the hospital quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then I realized that they're not actually doing anything, and I was like $1.2 million in debt to Shannon, and I was like, no, I'm not going back.
Dude, that's insane. Yeah. So you're in a little bit of a predicament there. That sucks, man.
No, I think I've grandfathered out of that now. It's been over.
No,
7
I mean,
years.
not with that necessarily, but just the fact that, it's put you in a position where you don't have medical care,
Right.
and you're dealing with this disease, and you're trying to deal with it by yourself, sort of. I mean, that's horrible. And so you have a medical marijuana card, though, right? They gave you that, right?
Well, they didn't give it to me. It's a teacup exemption, Texas Compassionate Use Program.
Okay.
You pay like $100 online, see a doctor, they give you a call, it's a phone thing, and then they put you in the compassionate use system for Texas.
Okay.
And it honestly, it really doesn't do anything
Really?
because Texas really doesn't have a cannabis industry
Right.
or
that's true, huh?
yeah.
Man, so this is interesting because the way Texas is with cannabis and marijuana, it's illegal.
Yes.
And so even to the point now where they're banning the THC products at head shops.
The
Yeah.
smokable hemp.
Yeah. And so people who really need this as a form of medication for pain and whatever else they're using it for, like you, are going to have a real hard time with this. And so with what you have, it's not necessarily a medical marijuana card, but with what you have, can you get in trouble with marijuana, like having marijuana?
Yes.
So where do you get it from? I mean, you don't have to disclose that if you don't want to, but how does that work for you then?
Well, you kind of have to. I can't smoke cannabis because of it's illegal here.
Mm-hmm.
However, you can use like tinctures and stuff like
What's
that. Salves and basically they take the flower of the plant and they dissolve it in oils and alcohol, and then you use it, and it's like a lotion.
Okay, yeah.
And those you can get from, I think the closest dispensary, I use that term loosely,
Yeah.
is in Austin.
Okay.
And all of their stuff, I believe it's less than 1% THC,
Mm-hmm.
and it can only have so much percentage of CBD.
Mm-hmm.
And realistically, those products don't actually help people who need medicinal
That's what I
cannabis.
thought. Yeah. Man, that's messed up. Yeah. So was your primary way to treat it, right? Your symptoms, like the cramping and the pain.
Yes, sir.
So, man, that's horrible, dude. Did you ever try it before they outlawed it, but like kratom and stuff like that?
I did.
that help at all?
I've tried just about everything
I
under the
imagine.
book,
Yeah.
and no, not really.
Yeah. So did the marijuana help though? The cannabis, it did.
It did. It allowed me to eat,
Mm-hmm.
to actually sleep through a night.
Dang, dude.
That's a big deal.
That's messed up, man. That's messed up. So help me understand this. So even if you go to a legitimate doctor, like the way they want you to, and can they prescribe you a medical marijuana card in Texas right now, or is that not even possible?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, yes and no.
Okay,
There's like the VA can do it, but they won't do it
I see.
because it's federally illegal.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of cannabis doctors, but I mean they're in Texas, so
Yeah.
they only have
I see. Yeah.
so
Man,
much room.
That's tough, dude. And so the other thing is, kind of one of the things I gathered was, because of this, you've had trouble with custody and stuff like that as well.
Yes, sir.
Are you willing to talk a little bit about that?
Oh yeah.
Because I'm in the same boat with you in a way. I'm fighting for custody, and we're in the process of trying to do that. And so I know how difficult that can be for the father, And so, you don't have to get into details about your relationship, but why is it essentially that do you have partial custody right now?
I have not seen, well, let me rephrase that. I have legally not seen my girls in 2 years.
Really?
Yes. I see them every day when I'm picking up my stepson from school, though.
Oh, really? So you don't pick them up?
Nope. I pick my stepson up from the same school.
I thought you were picking them up.
Mm-mm.
Oh, man. So you just get to see them when you pick them up.
Yep, waving and honking at them as I drive by.
Yeah. Man, that's horrible. So what's the reason for that?
Cannabis.
Oh, really? Okay. So if you were, can you hire an attorney, let's say, go to court, fight for some type of custody? You'd have to show them that you're not using cannabis?
I would have to provide right now I'm ordered to provide a clean fingernail test.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Which even if I stop consuming cannabis, which medicinally that's my right to use, I probably wouldn't test clean for
6 months.
At least.
Forever.
Well, not forever, but
for a while.
For a while.
Yeah. Wow, dude. So, man, in order to do that, the only way for you to do that would be to stop using the medication that helps you.
Yes, sir.
Really?
In the state of Texas, cannabis is considered just as bad as methamphetamine.
Didn't they? It was a Schedule 3. I think they rescheduled it, though, recently. I heard that.
It was a Schedule 1, and they scheduled it down to 3.
Okay, yeah. All right, yeah. Well, that's good at least. But, man, dude, so you're kind of in a messed up situation for sure. Like, unless you find a different medication, right, that's prescribed, then there's nothing you can do?
No.
What in the world? What about supervised visits, at least?
I tried calling. I've tried texting. My fiance has tried calling, asking if they want to come over for barbecue, where there's literally, we have all our friends around. Yeah. Nothing's going to happen. No.
Man, I don't understand that. I don't understand why you wouldn't want your kids to see their dad, their biological dad, and have some type of relationship, even if it had to be like that,
Even if I was a horrible dad, which I post pictures every single day.
Yeah.
I clearly, you can call me any name under the book, but a horrible dad isn't one of them.
Mm-hmm. How do you think your kids feel about that? They probably want to see you. Obviously.
Oldest has honestly probably been manipulated to the point to where she hates me. And my 2 youngest, they run up to the fence and I love you and holler out every single time I drive by.
So you have 3?
I do.
Wow, dude.
All girls.
Yeah. And how old are they?
Annabelle, I believe, is about to turn 13. Bellatrix is about to turn 8 or 9. And Lizabelle is about to turn 5.
Okay.
Or 6.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Man, that's
Dad
tough,
math.
Dude. That's tough. So, have you looked into this? There's nothing an attorney can do or anything?
I can't afford an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
I'm disabled and broke.
Yeah.
So I've been doing a ton of research. Mm-hmm. I'm ready for court when court is actually established. I'm ready.
What do you mean? Like, are you gonna have to go to court at some point?
Oh yeah. She's sued me because I posted all the screenshots and been telling on her for all the stuff.
Really?
And then she says I'm lying. Well, how can I be lying if they're screenshots,
Yeah. Wow. And is that something that she could legitimately sue you for, do you think?
No, freedom of speech, but she's going to try to bully me. That's the kind of person she is.
Man, that's unfortunate, dude. That's really unfortunate. I hate that, man, for you and for your kids and everybody involved, dude. That's a horrible situation. But, back to the Crohn's for a second.
Yes, sir.
Man, I just, so it's prevented you from working, right?
Yes.
Like having a regular job because of it, right?
I have my journeyman electrical license.
Nice.
Done pretty much all of the physical trades under the book, poured concrete, electrical. I certified heavy equipment operator. Mm-hmm. I can run anything with hydraulics.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to hire somebody that's like, oh, I got to run to the bathroom.
Right. Yeah. Dude, that sucks. Yeah. So is there anything that any progress they're making with that for curing that? Do you know?
Not that I've seen.
Yeah. God, that's a horrible one. So best you can do really is some kind of at-home self-employment, right?
Yeah, which is what I'm doing through the social media thing.
Okay, I see, yeah. What about doing something, maybe you already are, I don't know, but like with your skills in horticulture and fish, because some people sell online, stuff like that? Have you thought about anything like that?
I have. I'm actually building back. 4 years ago, I had almost gotten to the points where I had a full setup. I mean, I have as much water as Petco or PetSmart does.
Nice, yeah.
So I have enough space to where I could retail if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Through the divorce and all that stuff, I dropped down to like 6 fish. So I'm now up to probably 22,000 fish.
Wow, dude. Yeah. That's crazy. How do they ship those? Like, how do you ship a fish?
It's actually not as hard as people would think. Ziploc bag, well, not a Ziploc baggie, but a plastic bag, some water, and some oxygen.
That makes sense. Yeah. I bought a chameleon online one time. Dude, it was awesome. I filmed it, the unboxing of it, and it was cool. You open the box, and then he's in there in a little container with holes in it, some kind of special container, and I opened it, and he like crawls out and puts his little hands on my arm. It was awesome, dude. It was amazing, being able to open a box and see a creature like that.
It really is.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. How long have you been active on Facebook?
This account has been active since 2018, but my first account was 2011, 12, somewhere in there.
Yeah. So do people? I mean, people get angry, dude. So do they message you like privately too? What kind of stuff do you get like from that?
Oh, I've been called every name under the book. Threatened to have people come and burn my house down.
Really?
Have voicemail where one of the local radio personalities, he called and threatened to burn down my home.
Why? What was that about?
He is a known womanizer, so I was doing the social media thing and calling him out and talking trash, and then his, at the time, not girlfriend, was at the time mad at me because I didn't want to be with her. So he was like white knighting for her, and what's the anonymously called me and left the voicemail, and I showed the cops, and then I was like, that's the same voice, and they're like, yeah.
Really? Were there like threats or something?
Yeah, he was threatening to show up and shoot me and burn down my house, and
wow, dude. So I mean, do people message you privately just for saying deported and stuff like that?
Oh yeah,
really?
All the time. Yeah. Yep.
Dude, that's crazy. And so, are you actively trying to piss people off?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
So that's your intention. That's your goal. Yeah. Why? Why do you want to do that?
The more people I upset, the more upset they get, the more they come to my page, which generates me revenue.
Okay. Yeah. So it's kind of the idea of, the haters. Just like anytime they're commenting at all or engaging, it's just helping your numbers basically.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's definitely one approach. But are you not afraid that you've kind of pigeonholed yourself? Like let's say you wanted to do something different. I mean, San Angelo is not like the biggest place in the world, so I mean, it's not like you're pigeonholed here forever. But like, it could affect you later in the future, something like that. Don't worry about it.
If our president can be a felon, I mean.
Yeah. So I don't know. Has there ever been a time though where you were like, man, maybe I should stop doing this? Like maybe this is not a positive thing and it could be hurting people.
Yeah, but I decided against it because if realistically, a couple pennies here and there, it does add up, and people are going to react more to something that they don't like than to to something that they do.
For sure, yeah.
You can see a funny video and haha, and then you swipe away. But you see something that you don't like, and now instantly you're in the comments. And
that's very true. That's true. I mean, in fact, it even goes as far as, whenever you do, like even in the news business, carnage, car wrecks, deaths, stabbings
Drama.
do way better than any kind of feel-good story. People love drama, especially San Angelo. People love drama. Have you noticed that about San Angelo? It's a very, drama-centric town. People kind of thrive on it. I guess do you think it's because there's not much else to do here?
Yeah.
I do too, yeah.
You either got a bar on every other block or you got a church on every other block, and most of those people are going to the same place.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So what besides the deported thing, just for those who don't know, the San Angelo has a jail roster like every other community, but somebody created like it's a separate page called Say Cheese and Smile or something like that, and it has your county, and it's just mugshots with the charge of whatever that person's charged with, and some of them indeed are ICE, holds, because they're waiting to be deported. But no matter what the charge is, Christian will put deported on there. He'll write deported. He wants everybody deported. And so are there other things though that you do intentionally to piss people off besides that?
Yeah.
Like, give us an example.
On my my actual Facebook page, I run like anti-bad moms. I don't even know
What is that?
how to
What do you mean
describe it.
anti-bad moms?
Basic.
So in other words, you're against bad moms, you're saying?
Well, not just bad moms. I guess it's the pro-feminist movement these days. Very toxic, very anti-man, very, we don't need men. I mean, okay, well, men don't need women don't need men, but we do.
Right, yeah.
We would cease to exist as a species.
That's kind of a silly thing, dude, both ways. I mean, you have the extremes, which, you have like the Andrew Tate red pill side, and then you have the super hardcore feminist side, and it's silly both ways,
It really is.
But I do see, from my personal perspective, I do see how the culture in general is men are kind of being demasculated. You know what I mean? They're taking on roles that they would have never before, but also being expected to do certain things that a man wasn't expected to do before.
Right.
And I don't think that's a good thing overall, dude. I really don't. Like, I think there is a balance, but I just don't think that's healthy. You know what I mean? I think it's okay for men to take on traditional roles and for women to do that. I think that's why we're good together.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So I kind of understand that. So you kind of push back against the hardcore feminist type stuff.
Toxic feminism, yeah.
Toxic feminism, okay. Toxic feminism, all right. Like there's toxic masculinity. What do you think about that term?
Toxic masculinity? Well,
you think it's real? I mean, can there be toxic masculinity?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just as there are toxic women, there's toxic men.
Yeah,
I'm one of them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, speaking of that, like, how are your relationships? Because you're not the most amiable, person when, at least online. But like, how are your relationships? I mean, are your interpersonal communication skills? I mean, are you an asshole to everyone?
Well, yeah, to a degree.
That's fair.
Facebook Christian and real life Christian, there is a divide there, but for the most part, we're the same person.
Yeah.
I'm not super rude or hateful. I can be the most polite, courteous person you've ever met.
I can see that. Yeah.
Until you give me a reason not to be.
Okay. Okay, I see. Yeah. Interesting. So I'm curious about something though. And so in high school,
yes,
you said you were the guy that literally was on the far side of the spectrum where people hated you for whatever reason. Do you know, can you pinpoint when that happened? Like, what happened exactly to that you're referring to? Can you pinpoint it?
Well, I've always been kind of a troublemaker in school. Always been real opinionated. Why does this happen? Why does it work that way? Teachers don't like being asked why, so I got singled out a lot. Mm-hmm. And that kind of probably led into it. Yeah.
And so it was kind of you're kind of rebellious, snarky, that kind of deal in class. And so was it, I can understand that for the teachers, But what about your peers? Like, why did they start to feel that way?
Because I was always the class clown, the always distracting the teacher from actually teaching.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. Well, so I can relate to that in a way. So I was a class clown also, but I was a pretty likable guy. You know, I wasn't an asshole, I would say. But people didn't like that, though. So, I mean, you must have pushed buttons in a certain way. So where do you think that comes from, though, really, if you look at it? I mean, I know you say you that's kind of how people treated you, so you leaned into it. But where do you think that really comes from?
But realistically, the stereotypical, I didn't have a good childhood, bad step parent.
Yeah, that really happened?
Yeah.
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 So, I mean, what was that like? I mean, did you have a step parent that just treated you like shit, or what?
Physically abused, sexually abused, mentally abused. It was everything under the book.
Really?
I've broken my right arm twice, my left arm once. Whenever I broke this arm, I got shoved down some stairs, landed flat, and it fused these two bones together, and they refused to take me to the hospital. And about 2 weeks later, I got shoved down some stairs again at school. Usually, I was probably running my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And they finally took me to the hospital, and there was the old fracture, and then there's 2 new fractures. So,
dude,
that took 2 weeks.
That's horrible, man.
I should have probably been diagnosed with autism as a child.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get that diagnosis until 23, 24.
Yeah, it wasn't treated as it is today, Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it was. Man, I can understand that, like having a step parent that didn't understand you in that way, because it's hard for you to communicate with certain people.
Right.
Was it a stepfather type situation?
Yeah.
Yeah. And when did your mom, let's say, remarry, and when did that start?
She married him when I was, well, okay, so this is a whole story in itself. My mom had me when she had just turned 15.
Okay. Wow.
So young.
Yeah.
I lived with my grandparents for the first 3, maybe 4 years of my life, because she took off to Idaho with her boyfriend or something. They came back. The boyfriend ended up becoming my stepdad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's been in my life my whole life.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, and so did that abuse start early?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Man. That's horrible. See, I think I like that you're open to talk about it, because that is something that, I didn't know, and it gives a different perspective, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it kind of makes sense why you would become that way in school and stuff. Was it to the point where, like, you didn't want to be at home?
I would have ran away if I wasn't afraid he would have unalived me. Yeah.
Dude, it was that crazy?
He's multiple times held me down, choked me out, punched me square, like, as a grown man, 6 years old, straight in the chest. So.
Yeah. Man, is that person still around?
Not in my life, but he is.
He's still alive, yeah. So, I mean, how long was he in your life for? Like, until you graduated?
Until I was about 25, 26.
Oh, dude, really?
Yeah, I tried being friends with him and actually doing, like, the son role after I became an adult. And I was like, hey, man, I forgive you, let's swipe it under the rug.
Yeah.
My ex-wife's 24th birthday or 25th birthday, we were all over there drinking, playing beer pong and stuff, and he started flirting with one of her friends, started getting all touchy and stuff, and I was like, no, sir, my mom's in there asleep, you can go in there.
Whoa, really?
We're gonna move the party. And then that whole thing started a fist fight. I whipped his ass real good.
No way. You did? How did that feel?
Great. He had a bruise across, like, right here, just black. And he showed up to work the next day, and they fired me because we were working together. They were like, don't worry about coming into work today. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Wow, dude. You kicked his ass?
Yeah, and then I fought him again like 3 years later at the Roundy Round, the Roundy Round course out here.
What's that?
If you're going out like you're going to the Goodyear Proving Grounds, the Roundy Round tracks, that's not a thing anymore. This was back in the 90s.
What did you do out there? What is that?
They would drive those little, not little cars, but the roundy round cars. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
And it's the same parking lot where they found that body a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was like, you know what? You want to fight again? Why don't we just meet up here? It's in the middle for both of us, and we duke it out again. He did.
He did?
He showed up, and I fought him again.
You're kidding.
I'll do
How
it
much
again
longer
right now.
was this after the first time?
About 3 years.
Really? How did that go?
It came out a little bit more even for both of us at that point. He got a few good ones. I got a few good ones.
Wow, dude. That's crazy, man. Yeah. So this person's been like an adversary your whole life, kind of.
Very op, yes.
Wow. Man, that's horrible. Yeah, dude. I can understand how that's like torture, dude. Did it happen a lot, the abuse, like consistently or occasionally or what?
I used to say I earned it because, I was a difficult child, but I was an autistic child.
Right, yeah. Dang, dude.
But, yeah.
I wonder, they say that that's a cycle, that it's usually a generational thing. I wonder if he was treated like that and
his dad was very mean.
Well, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was World War II vet, was on a ship that sank, got on another ship, it sank, and he went to the Philippines, came back, and was never the same.
Yeah.
So.
Dang, dude. Yeah. And so was that something you made a point, as a father to break that cycle and not be that way?
Yes, sir. I had the
that's
perfect
awesome,
example of what not to do.
That's true. I was just going to say, that's what happens usually is either people use that as an example of how to treat their kids or what not to do. They'd be the complete opposite.
Yep.
So, man, that's cool that you took that route. Yeah.
Like, for example, I'm not anti-spanking, but I'm not pro-spanking.
Okay, yeah.
I will spank a child's ass if it gets to that point, but it's got to be something to where they're putting themselves in imminent danger.
I understand that. Yeah, I can get behind that for sure. Yeah, dude. So, man, that's just a horrible thing to go through. What did your mom think about that? I mean, did she try to protect you? I mean, was she helpless kind of to it all? Or?
I won't choose between my husband and my son.
I see. Yeah.
That's a choice in itself.
Yeah. So did that affect your relationships, growing up and stuff?
With my family? Yeah, I've cut them all out.
You have?
Only very recently have I actually started talking to them again.
Yeah.
And it's since my grandma passed away 2-3 years ago.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Man. Dude.
And that's only because that's what she would have wanted. Mm-hmm. So I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And so after high school, what did you do? Did you go to school or college or anything, or did you stay here and work or what?
Yeah, I worked out at the state school.
Oh, you did?
I have about 5 years of working out there.
Mm-hmm. Would you ever go back to that?
No.
How come?
No. So I've been stabbed. I have permanent nerve damage in these arms up to these 2 fingers. Mm-hmm. The vision in my left eye is blurry. I had chemicals thrown in my face. I've been punched, kicked.
Dang.
I'll never go back.
Yeah. That's a tough job. Yeah. Man, chemicals thrown in your face.
Yep.
God, it's crazy, dude. So if you could work a job where you didn't have the issue with the Crohn's disease, what do you think you would want to do? What would you be into?
Marine biology, which is kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. So with the physical abuse, I'm sure there was verbal abuse.
Yes, sir.
You said sexual abuse.
Yeah, that was when I was real young. When I started getting a little older, I knew what was going on.
But same person?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Man, that's just a screwed up individual. Sounds like.
He was a heavy alcoholic. Well, you know what? I'm making excuses.
Yeah, I know. He's just a piece of shit.
He's got redeeming qualities, but he's also a piece of shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's just evil, dude. And so, man, you had siblings or no?
I have a half-sister, a half-brother, and a stepsister. The stepsister is his daughter.
Oh, did he treat her the same way?
No.
Oh,
she was the perfect princess,
Yeah, that was a big part of it. Yeah. Dang. What about your stepbrother? Or your half brother, I guess.
Yeah, who is his son.
Oh,
So
okay.
he, those two were completely different from me and my half sister.
Yeah.
They were like the perfect everything. This is gonna sound petty, but he bought all of the kids, me and my siblings, iPods.
Mm-hmm.
He bought my brother and stepsister at the time it was like the 30 gig, the super fancy iPods that just came out.
Uh-huh.
And then he bought me a 2 gig Zune.
What's that?
The
A
Zune?
Oh, dude, that's
it was like
messed
the
up.
knockoff iPods.
Are you serious? I think I remember that. Yeah. A 2 gig Zune, like at the same time.
At the same time.
Dang, that's
and I was
messed
like,
up, dude.
can I use the computer to put some songs on it? He goes, no. I was like, what?
God, that's horrible.
So we got it, and I couldn't even use it.
I see why that stuck with you, though. Seriously, that's messed up, dude. God. I mean, dang, dude. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, you were living through a nightmare, though. Seriously, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, not, to have to live your life that way is pretty screwed up, man. But I mean, everybody goes through some form of, suffering at some point in their life. But
It's all a test.
yeah. Well, so lastly, I always ask everybody this. So what are 3 things that you're genuinely grateful for right now in your life?
Genuinely grateful for. I gotta say, I have an excellent partner in my life right now.
You do?
She's fantastic.
Cool.
Her son, he's retarded like me.
What do you mean? He's got autism? That's cool. So do y'all connect pretty good?
Yeah.
That's cool.
He's taken to my fish.
Nice.
So I'll count both of those as one. And then the fact that I'm actually here today, I love being able to wake up in the morning,
Absolutely. That's cool.
make
Yeah.
everybody mad.
Yeah, I know, dude. God. One more thing.
And then one more thing. That's a good one. I gotta say, I'm pretty thankful for all the haters in my life.
Really?
I do. I appreciate every single one of y'all.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, that's it. All right, dude. So, thank you, dude, for coming in and talking. I mean, at least we got a little different perspective. I know I did, and try to be a little kinder. But thank you, dude.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
you coming
Thank
in.
you.
Cool. All right, guys. You heard